Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Fuck Batman versus Superman. Batman versus Superman is more like it. God of butt sex. What a fucking piece of shit. Motherfucker, god damn it. I killed Superman. What the fuck is wrong with you, Zack Snyder? You're a fucking hack. You're a fucking idiot. God, I feel so bad for Ben Affleck. I know why he's sad. Because he fucking saw this movie later and was like, oh shit, I feel sad. Because that's all this fucking movie does. It makes you feel sad. It makes you want to slit your fucking wrist and put a bullet in your fucking head. Motherfucking piece of fucking shit. God damn it. Fuck! Ah! The time has come, and I'm ready. I'm ready to rant, and I'm ready to rumble. I'm ready to tear Batman vs. Superman a new asshole. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Okay, as I like to call it. Buttman vs. Superman, Yawn of Just Shit. Because it was a boring, confusing, muddled, aggravating, annoying, frustrating mess of a movie. It was a giant clusterfuck. And I said that when I talked about this concept. And I was like, how the hell are they going to have all these different storylines and make them work in one movie? And the answer to that question is no, it doesn't work. Well, no shit. Wow, it doesn't work. You can't have 50 different plot lines going on at once and actually make a coherent film. Wow, that's amazing. Um, Before I tear this movie apart, I just want to say right here, right now, if you like the film, that's cool. If you love it, that's fine. If you think it's okay, that's fine with me too. As I always say, different opinions are what makes this world interesting. If you have a different opinion, that just means that you're contributing to this world remaining an interesting place where there's different opinions, where no one feels the same way about anything, let alone a movie. So that's cool. I'm just not one of those people. I did not care for this film. I did not like it. I was so pissed off while watching this movie in the theater that I was blowing anger bubbles in my fucking soda. That's how pissed off I was. I don't do that when I see movies in the theater usually. But I was so pissed and I had to do something to let out my anger and not disrupt people in the cinema. So I was blowing anger bubbles in my fucking soda. I just gotta add hashtag anger bubbles. Has anyone ever done that before? And they're so pissed off at a movie that they're just like blowing bubbles in their soda. You got the straw in your mouth and just going just blowing bubbles. You're just trying to find a way to release the anger that is inside. When the movie was over, I swear I was on fire. I was seething. I was burning with rage. I wanted to tear the screen apart from the seams right down the fucking middle when it got near the end. It was the only emotions this film gives me are anger, like the deepest burning rage I think I've ever had. Like, not really ever had, but close to what I've had before for films like RoboCop, for instance. That kind of rage. That kind of rage that comes down from deep inside, like somewhere within your soul, just deep, ingrained in there. And I haven't been this pissed off at a fucking movie in a long time. I was either angry or I was annoyed or I was bored. These are all emotions I do not like to feel when I'm watching a movie, let alone a film where we have Batman and Superman together on film for the first time ever in a live action movie. Of course, you've had like, the TV, they took the two episodes, I think it was a crossover episodes of Batman, the animated series, and Superman, and they turned that into Batman and Superman the movie. which was released direct to video. But that was never released theatrically, and you never had an actual team-up movie on the big screen with a big budget and in live action form. And when you get it, they're barely even in the fucking movie together. Like they don't even show up together on screen. They're together on screen where it's just Batman and Superman, a movie called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. They're only in it like 3 times. Where it's just them. Just Batman and Superman. And they don't fight until over an hour into the movie, until like an hour and 40 minutes into a 2.5 hour long film. And the fight's only like 9 minutes. There's not enough Batman and Superman in this movie called Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. That's the problem. I mean, this film to me felt like it was a joke. I was like, is this an April Fool's Day joke? Is the real Batman vs. Superman film going to be coming out soon? No? This is what I'm left with? This fucking clusterfuck? This epic pile of shit? This movie that doesn't seem to know what the fuck it's doing, if you ask me. I mean, you got a villain whose motivations, you have no idea. What the fuck is he doing? Why does he want to kill Superman? Because he doesn't like God? He wants to kill God? It's something to do with his daddy? Does he have daddy issues? I don't have no fucking clue. I have no idea. That's the kind of emotions I get with this movie. And just talking about it just makes me go, ugh. If you just want sum up my feelings on this movie, just an emotion, there you go. That's my feelings on Batman vs. Superman. Just a whole lot of, That's how I felt after I got out of the theater. And the weather reflected how I felt. Because when I got out of the theater, it was pouring down rain. And it was gloomy and dark outside. It wasn't gloomy and dark outside when I went to the theater. But then when I came out of the theater, it's fucking raining. It fits my mood. Perfect. The movie was so bad, it caused the weather to change. A lot of fit my mood. Wonderful. Just like I needed to be even more depressed than I already am. This was like watching a funeral. And there is a funeral scene in this movie, but it was like watching a funeral for the Superman that I know and I love and I appreciate and I really like. It was just watching him die, figuratively and literally. And it was so painful to sit through. It was just, while this stuff was unraveling, I was just like, you didn't fucking earn it. And it just pissed me off. Yeah, this is I'm not holding back. I can't, because I gotta let this shit out. I can't just leave it in. I can't leave it inside till it eats me away from the inside out. I gotta fucking let this shit out. So excuse me if I might, be a little bit, crazy in this video. I gotta do it. I'm going to try to make things as structured as well as I possibly can, but I might go off track because just talking about this film just makes me discombobulated. It's a disheartening film to talk about, just like it's a disheartening film to sit through. Okay. Alright. So, everyone already knows about the cast and the crew and stuff like that. I'll talk about the cast and the crew when I decide to talk about the cast and the crew and so on. I'm not going to do a rundown. I don't need to do that. By the way, I'm like one of the few people who's reviewing this movie like almost a week later anyway, so it's one of those things. But I had to wait. I had to let this stew in my head for a little bit to just get everything all together, get my thoughts together, get everything collected. And even then, I still don't think I'm gonna be able. I don't even think I'm gonna cover everything in this video. I'm gonna try to. But try to, so I don't have to talk about this movie ever again. But anyway, I was thinking I would start out with the pros. So I'm going to start talking about the things about the film that I did like. And by the way, before anybody says anything, this review is going to be littered with spoilers. So if you have not seen the film, Don't watch this video because I'm just letting loose. Like, I'm not holding anything back because it's, like I said, it's just going to cause me inner turmoil for like the rest of the year if I don't let everything back. If I don't release everything, release the hounds, so to speak, and let slip the dog to war. But so when it comes to things I liked about the movie, I liked Ben Affleck. I thought he was good. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. I liked him as Batman. He was an intimidating, strong presence as Batman. He did a good job with the physical aspects of the character. Um, I don't think he was given that much to do character-wise, especially the Bruce Wayne. But that's not really his fault. That's the screenplay's fault. And the screenplay is one of the biggest flaws and biggest cons anyway when it comes to this movie. So yeah, Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck's performance is good, but he didn't really have a lot to work with. But when he's Batman, when he is there, I liked him as Batman. I didn't really care for the robot voice. I think it was unnecessary. Kevin Conroy doesn't use a robot voice. Michael Keaton didn't use a robot voice. And when Ben Affleck, when his helmet gets smashed by Superman during the fight, and his robot voice, his voice modulator doesn't work anymore, he sounds fine. And so I don't think I don't think it's a problem. I don't think his regular voice is a problem. I think the robot voice just sounds so unnatural and weird that's just unnecessary to me. I don't find it cool, I just found it pretty silly. That's just me personally. Another thing, I don't personally think this is a redemption role for Ben Affleck when it comes to playing a superhero. Because I've never been one of those guys who hated him as Daredevil. I think did a good job as Daredevil. I've never thought he sucked as Daredevil. I'm one of the few people who liked the theatrical cut when it came out. I've always liked it, and I like the director's cut, and I like Daredevil. I think Ben Affleck was a great Daredevil, so I don't think this is a redemption role for him either, but he did a good job here. He was one of the best things about the movie, absolutely. He made me want to see a solo film starring him as Batman instead of this. Instead of this just it's like we picked up with his character like one of my friends said like 4 films into the franchise, and I'm like, I haven't seen the other 3 films yet. Like, what? So there wasn't a lot of character development for this character. So even though I liked him, I couldn't really actually say that I cared about him because I didn't know enough about him except, okay, Ben Affleck is Batman and he's Bruce Wayne, but I would be nice to know a little bit more than just that. I mean, if it was just the first film in the franchise, okay, that's fine. I don't know a lot yet, but this felt like it was later, and he's an older Batman. So does not feel like it's our first introduction to this character. It feels like he's been here, but we're just now being introduced to him, like just showing bits and pieces of like his 4th film in the franchise or 3rd film or so on. It's a problem. One of many problems that this screenplay has that severely cripple this film to me. So I like Ben Affleck. I'm excited to see his solo movie. Um, that's one of the few things from the DC universe, this new cinematic universe, that I actually am curious about is Ben Affleck's solo Batman film. And I hate that I have to wait, what's like 3 or 4 years for it. I get a Wonder Woman movie before I get a solo Batman movie. Okay, yay. Anyway, I like Ben Affleck. Jeremy Irons, I thought he did a great job as Alfred. He did the best he could with what he had to work with, which once again was not that much, but he did a great job. It's Jeremy Irons. He's a fantastic actor. So I liked his Alfred. It was different than some of the other Alfreds. He was more of like a mechanic. He was a mechanic. He wasn't just the butler. He could do more. He was also a confidant to Bruce as well, but. Yeah, I also thought him and Ben Affleck had great chemistry together. When the film I was actually engaged in the movie, which were very few moments. It was with scenes like this with Alfred and Bruce. The supporting cast, for the most part, I mean, they did all. Laurence Fishburne, Amy Adams, capable performances, but their characters didn't really have that much to do. Pretty much thankless roles. Amy Adams is sent on a wild goose chase to find a bullet, which is just a completely useless subplot. But, we had to pad the running time, I guess. We had to give Lois something to do. You could have easily cut it out of the movie. You could have easily shot that story, shot that part out of the screenplay. It would not have hurt the film one bit. But, okay. Diane Lane is fine. She doesn't have that much to do. As usual, you have all these characters, and, you can't fit them all into one movie. You can't. There's a reason why The Dark Knight Returns is a 2.5 hour long film just for the one story, for the one adaptation of the comic. There's a reason why you have The Death of Superman is one series of comics. It's not just, and it's meant to be one movie, not part of a movie. There's a reason why this happens, because there's always different things that happen. You put in sequences from these comics and throw them into this movie just because you think they'd be cool. It's not doing me a service as a fan. I know it's doing some people a service as a fan, that's fine. But if you ask me, it's a fan disservice. You take all of these storylines, which I like and I appreciate and I really enjoy, like Death of Superman and The Dark Knight Returns, and just take bits and pieces of them and just throw them in a blender and just feed it to me and be like, here you go, drink up. And I'm like, no, this tastes like shit because you're putting all these elements, you're putting all these ingredients in here that don't mix. You're throwing in rusty nails and glass and fucking raspberries and peaches and wheatgrass and fucking green beans. None of this stuff mixes well. But you're just throwing it in there. Just, hey, fuck it, let's see what works. Let's see if somehow these ingredients that don't blend well together are gonna magically, miraculously blend well together, and we're gonna have a great film. That's not what happens. If you ask me, all I get is a shitty mix. I get a mix that tastes like shit, that I don't like and I want to spit out, that makes me want to vomit. I can't even talk about the film's pros without going on a tangent because they're outweighed by the film's fucking cons. There's so many of them. When I start talking about them, I want to fire them off like cannonballs out of a cannon. Just one after another. Boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, Jeremy Irons, Ben Affleck are fine. They're good. The supporting cast is alright. Holly Hunter does a good job, performance-wise, when she's not acting to a jar of fucking piss, or when she's not acting to a bag of fucking shit that is Jesse Eisenberg. So when she's not acting with a jar of fucking piss and a bag of shit, she's fine. But, it's hard to work with a jar of piss and a bag of shit. There's one action sequence in this entire 2 hour and 30-minute long movie that I genuinely enjoyed. And that was the one fight scene, the one bit of Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Batman fight choreography, which is really nice to see, where Batman is going in to save Martha Kent. That sequence I liked. It was cool. Batman's taking like a grappling hook, hooking it into a guy, pulling him back, uppercutting him, Scorpion style, like in Mortal Kombat. Takes another grappling hook, hooks it against a box, smacks some guy with it. That was fun. The choreography was fast. It was furious. It was the punches that you felt something. It was exciting. It was fun. It was like, wow, he's brutal, but he's a badass, and I like this. And it just left me wanting more. And then I'm like, why can't I just have a Ben Affleck solo Batman movie? Why can't I be watching that? And then I can have more than just one 5-minute fight scene like this. I can have like multiple ones. But no, I get more shots of Jesse Eisenberg's whiny pissant Lex Luthor instead. Why? Why? Why the fuck does Lex Jr. have more screen time than Batman does? That's what it feels like. I don't get it. I don't understand. In a film called Batman vs. Superman, and Lex Luthor has more screen time. Gal Gadot was okay when she's in action. When she's in action as Wonder Woman, she's alright. But when she has to say anything, she has to speak, she's not okay. And I'll explain that later. But I liked her when she was doing a little bits of action, fighting against Zod's Day, because it's not Doomsday, and for some reason she gets all the great moments. She's the one that does most of the battle. And I don't get that. This is Superman's story here. And you're just throwing in Wonder Woman in here. And Batman. And then we're never in Death of Superman. And why are you doing this? This is too fucking early anyway. Okay, alright. Goose Frava. Okay. Alright. Back to some positives, back to some pros about Batman vs. Superman. I don't know. One little bit of the score, I like the bit of the score that Hans Zimmer did, or was it Junkie XL? I don't know which one it was, because they both worked on the film. I like the bit of score where you have the flashback with Thomas and Martha Wayne. I like that bit of music, with their, with the flashback to their murder. But the only other bit of the score that actually stood out to me that was good and not awful was just reusing a bit from Man of Steel. So I don't think that really counts. It's just the same score I heard in Man of Steel. Other than that, the costume design was fine. I mean, I like Batman's suits. I like the design of the costumes. Excuse me, I'm just, ugh. Ugh. Sorry. This movie's giving me indigestion or something. Fuck. Ugh. So yeah, the costume design's fine. I like the design of the bat suit, especially the one that's the armored bat suit and things like that. Okay. I think that's all. I don't have much else to say in terms of the things that I liked about this movie. Oh, okay, there's a few lines of dialogue I liked, like when Bruce is talking about how criminals in Gotham are like weeds, you pull one up, another one grows back. Or when he's talking to Superman during the fight and he's like, "You're not a man. Men are brave. Men are brave. You're not, that sort of thing, You're not a man. Men are brave." I like that line. But that's it. I don't know what else to say in terms of the positives for this. Now we get to the negatives. Now we get to the cons. I'm going to try to go through these without taking an hour. I don't want this to be a over an hour long video where it's like almost as long as the movie. I don't want that. I don't want people to watch my review and then feel the same way that they did while watching the movie and feel like they're just completely exhausted. I don't want that. So I'm going to try to go through these rapid fire as quickly as possible. So the first biggest, most glaring flaw this film has is its screenplay by David S. Goyer and Chris Terrio. And David S. Goyer, you have no idea how to write a Superman story. I've given you a pass for Man of Steel. I don't know how you managed to make some things work, but there's other things you fucked up, and you fucked it up even worse here. Like, you were okay with Batman snogging Superman. It's Batman and Superman. Superman snogging Lois Lane in the middle of the ruins of Metropolis. You were fine. You didn't think that was a problem. So then later in this movie, you just turn Superman into a giant sad sack of shit. He's such a sad sack in this. You might as well call him the Man of Sad instead of the Man of Steel. He's depressed. He's upset. He's glum. He's blank-faced. He's angry. You don't really see him being angry. He just might as well just be constipated. The constipated Man of Steel. That's what it kind of looks like to me. You never really give him a voice to explain how he feels. Randomly, he'll just blurt out shit that just makes him sound like an asshole. Like when he says lines like this. Like when he's talking to Lois, and he's like, Superman was never real. Just a dream of some farmer in Kansas. Why would you ever write lines of dialogue for Superman to say that are remotely even as close to something like that? That's so totally against the tone of the character. It just pains me to even talk about Superman saying something like that. Superman in a Superman movie saying, there never was a Superman. What the fuck? Superman was never real? Like, why would Superman ever say that? Because he's an emo sad sack of shit in this movie. Because everyone hates him. And he's all like, I hate being Superman. Being Superman sucks. It's a burden on my shoulders. I don't like it. Boo-hoo, cry me a fucking river, Superman. Go live with the guy who lives in a van down by the river. Maybe you have something in common. So I definitely don't relate to you. I don't relate to this Superman. Man of sad, somber man. I mean, most of this rant is just problems with the screenplay. This is how it's written. Superman, it's written like he's an asshole. I don't blame people for hating him. So, saying stuff to Batman that are so totally against the character. Next time if someone shines your light in the sky, don't go to it. Bury it. Consider this mercy. The bat is dead. You know, the bat is dead. Next time somebody shines a light in the sky, don't go to it. Bury it. Consider this mercy. You're just... And then he even glares at Batman later with this douchebag glare on his face. I'm like, fuck you, Superman! I should not have that reaction to Superman in the Batman and Superman movie. I should not be like, oh, fuck off, you fucking douchebag. Fuck off, you jerk off, motherfucker. Sad sack of shit. Why don't you go cry home to your mama? Oh, yeah. Oh, go cry home to Martha. Martha! Where did you know that name? How do you know that name? Where did you learn that name? Martha. They can both go cry home to their mom, Martha. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of this Superman. It's like in Man of Steel, I saw a bit of charisma. I saw a bit of the Superman that I like and I love in that film when I watched it again. And this is just, all of that's just thrown in the garbage. He goes in complete reverse. It just reverses his course and just goes deeper into the depression zone. Super depressed Man of Steel. Who wants to watch that? I'm just saying, I don't find that interesting. I don't find that intriguing. I don't find that involving. I find it boring to watch glum, sad sack of shit Man of Steel go up against an equally glum, sad Batman. I'm just saying, you have somber man versus sad man. That's not really a very good battle. Or you have dark versus darker. There's no dynamic. There's no, when Superman fought Batman in The Dark Knight Returns, there was years and years of build-up, and they had known each other for years. Batman was older. Superman, of course, he doesn't age, but Batman was now an older Batman, and there was something there, and the fight felt like it was in context with the film, with the comic. the fight here doesn't feel like it's in the right context. It's just we need to have Batman and Superman fight in the Batman vs Superman movie because DC wants it all. Because DC and Warner Brothers, they took advice from the Queen song "I Want It All." That's what they did. They heard that song and then were like, "I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now." And they were like, "Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Yeah, we want it all. We want all that Marvel money. We want all that Avengers money. We want it now." No patience whatsoever. And that's why we have this clusterfuck of a movie that is just a jumbled fucking mess. It's like it took puzzle pieces that didn't fit, cut them to fit, and just said, "Hey, I made the puzzle. I finished it." Like, no, you fucking cheated, and that still looks like shit. You didn't finish it. None of this stuff works. You didn't create a full picture here. You just jumping shit together. It just doesn't fucking look good. It doesn't look right. It looks like shit. So Superman is somber man, sad sack of shit. Batman is sad. So we have sad. I mean, that's what you have: sad man versus man sad. It's sad man versus somber man. It's just, and then I had no one to root for in this fight. When they fight, it's like I barely know anything about this Batman, so I don't really. There's nothing. I don't really feel like, oh man, I hope he doesn't die. This Batman, I barely even know. And then, oh, Superman. Well, fuck that guy. He's a dickhead. I mean, just saying it's not the right way to go about a battle between the two. I mean, I just not a very good dynamic. It's not dynamic at all. You might as well, you should have blown that script up with dynamite. Started over. Done a solo Batman movie. Then done Man of Steel 2. Then done Batman versus Superman. And nobody would have a problem with that. People would be like, hey, you took your time. That's fine. And you'd still make all this money. I don't understand why you rushed it. I don't understand why you needed to do it this way. Other than purely greed. And just we don't want to be like Marvel to the super extreme, even the points where it doesn't even make any sense. Building up your universe, building up your cinematic universe with patience and with time and with care is not copying Marvel. It's common sense. Okay. So, the screenplay is a mess. You have one part solo Batman movie, one part, because even the movie opens up with a flashback to Thomas and Martha Wayne's murder. So we got to see that again. I needed to see the Batman origin again. I don't remember it. I do not remember how Batman became Batman. Fuck no, fuck that shit. Of course I remember. It's ingrained in the public subconscious. We don't need to see it again. It's completely unnecessary. Although has one of the few bits of music that I liked out of the entire movie, but still, it's unnecessary. You could have had it in just a flashback scene, which they showed it again later in a flashback where when Superman says, "You're killing Martha," or blah blah, and it's like, "Oh my God, you're letting Martha die." And then he flashes back to, his parents dying. And I'm like, you could have just put the scene there. Not at the beginning of the movie where young Bruce falls into a cave and floats up in the air. Like his Tinkerbell, or he had some freaking magic fairy dust poured on him and he starts flying. Like a bat out of hell. So, fuck. So you have part Batman, Ben Affleck solo movie introducing him, part Aftermath of Man of Steel, so part Man of Steel 2, part Justice League prequel, part fucking Death of Superman. Doesn't fucking belong here. You didn't earn it. So the Death of Superman has no fucking impact whatsoever because, oh my God, I'm supposed to feel sad for this asshole. This fucking Somber Man. Supposed to feel sad for Somber Man, Mr. Emo Man of Steel, Mr. Superman was never real. It's just a dream of some fucking farmer in Kansas. I'm supposed to believe this guy. I'm supposed to feel sad for this fucking Superman. Fuck that Superman. glad he's dead. Um, I'm not really, because they didn't fucking earn this fucking death. It just cheapens the whole storyline. And then if it ever happens again on film, it'll never have the same impact because they did it here and they fucked it up and they ruined it. So that if they ever did it again, it would never have the same impact as it would have if you had done it right the first time around. Such a missed fucking opportunity. Fuck. And you fucked up the rest of the other Superman movies because, wow, if Superman comes back, there's no suspense. There's no stakes. There's absolutely no stakes anymore. Well, he already died once. If he faces Brainiac or Metallo or Parasite or some of these other villains or what? Am I supposed to be worried he's going to die again? Even if he does, I'd be like, he can come back. That's why you save this for like the third or the fourth movie, not the second film. Makes no sense to do this in the second movie. Fuck's sake. Giving me a headache. This movie is giving me a fucking headache. God damn it. Where's the aspirin? Oh, shit. Fuck. So, the death of Superman, too fucking early, doesn't belong in this movie, and then you have The Dark Knight Returns. So it's all these fucking different comic storylines in one movie, taken completely out of context, and this does not work, period. None of it works. So if that isn't a problem enough, you have other things that don't work as well. Like for some reason the screenplay decides to write mankind, us, as a bunch of idiots. Case in point here, okay? You have the sequence where in the Senate, after the sequence in Africa, where you have one African lady who's basically blaming all the death and destruction on Superman, and the Senate just blindly believes her. Takes her word for it. They don't bring any person who has a different opinion. They don't bring in Pulitzer Prize winning reporter Lois Lane, who was on the scene, who was there. They don't bring her in to get her viewpoint. No, they just buy the words of this random African lady, and that's the truth, and Superman did it, and there we go. No, that's such a shitty screenplay. And even then, when you start to think about it, it's even dumber because everyone just buys this. That's dumb enough. That's really stupid. But then you have the whole thing where people were riddled with bullets. So what? Everyone just bought that Superman just shot everybody with fucking bullets? What the fuck? This is stupid. This is so fucking stupid. I mean, Superman, you use your fucking head, snap a head. Superman has no need for bullets. But they buy it, and then this sets up this stupid storyline with Lois Lane going around trying to find out who made the bullets. And of course, no shit, it's fucking LexCorp. That storyline goes nowhere. And then this doesn't stop here, because then when you have the whole thing in the Senate, people just buy that Superman was the cause for it. He did it. He blew up the Senate. And then later, the news says, no, he didn't. It was some guy in a wheelchair. And I'm like, wow. That's not even like the biggest example of stupidity. I mean, fuck. The ending, like with the whole thing where Zod's days running around and Superman's trying to do the right thing and take him out of here into space, away from the city, and our fucking stupid military is like, duh, shoot a nuke at it. Because we got to, reenact the sequence from The Dark Knight Returns. But you know what? You take it out of fucking context here, it doesn't make any sense. In The Dark Knight Returns, Superman has that shot where he's like desiccated and stuff, and he looks like a corpse in space because he fucking stopped a nuclear bomb from blowing up Gotham City. This doesn't make any sense. The nuke was shot by the Russians. retaliation for the U.S. getting involved in Corto Maltese. This is not something where, and then in this, it's just that why? It's just stupid that we waste a nuke on Zod's Day, who, why would we think a nuclear weapon would work on either one of these superhuman beings? Because humans are written as idiots in this movie. Fucking morons. So that's a problem with the screenplay. Humans are written as fucking idiots. And they're not alone. Superman isn't written any better either. He isn't written any smarter. I mean, he just stands there in the fucking Senate, doesn't use his X-ray vision, doesn't use his hearing. He has selective superhearing, I guess, because he can hear Alfred talk to Batman in one scene earlier in the movie, but he can't fucking hear anything here. And he doesn't put two and two together when he looks at all these weird reactions people are having. He sees the guy in the wheelchair staring death eyes at him. He doesn't really put two and two together, sees Lex Luthor's not there, and realizes, oh, maybe there's something wrong here. Maybe there's something bad's gonna happen. No, he just stands there, and Senate blows up. He just stands there with a stupid look on his face. He acts like his pet goldfish died or some shit. Acts like he got a splinter. His whole reaction is like, whoa. Not again. Why does this keep happening to me? Fuck. And that doesn't stop there. I mean, I know later after that he talks to Lois and says, I wasn't even looking. Yeah, this stupid fucking screenplay. Superman's gonna admit, I wasn't even looking. I wasn't looking. Paints him to be even bigger, even bigger asshole. You would think after he got blamed for stuff he didn't do in Africa, you would think he would be, I don't know, on the ball, like double. Like he would be, his eyes and ears would be open, like all the time, to make sure none of this shit happens again. But nope. I wasn't even looking. And then he goes off to the Arctic to talk with his dead dad, hallucinate with him, and hear his dead dad, Kevin Costner's speech about Kevin Costner's hero cake. I'm like, what the fuck is this doing? Is he hallucinating? Like, what? God! Guess this is gonna be over an hour. I can't help it. I have too much shit to let out. I have too much problems. This movie ain't got just one. Oh shit. So you have Superman continues to be a moron. When he fights with Batman, Batman shoots a smoke pellet at him, and he can't see Batman through the smoke. And that's how he gets tricked into getting shot by the first kryptonite pellet. I'm like, what? What? What the fuck? Why the hell would Superman be that? Why would Superman fall for that? Because the screenplay is fucking shitty. That's why. Even Batman's setup. I'm gonna set up a bunch of miniguns. Yeah, because bullets are gonna. You should know better too, Batman. You know, it's a waste of your resources and a waste of your time. Bullets. Might as well just tickle Superman with feathers. So you have that. That's a problem. Humans are idiots. Superman's an idiot. Batman's not as smart as he could be either. I mean, really, Superman could just solve this whole thing where they're fighting and just grab Batman and said, hey, Lex Luthor's got my mom. I need your help. There we go. But no, we need the fight. Which in itself is not worth it anyway, because you saw most of it in the fucking trailer. But, okay. So humans are idiots. Batman and Superman aren't painted much better like either. And then you have the character of Lex Luthor, or Lex Jr., Alexander Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, which is one of the biggest and worst casting choices I've ever heard of, I've ever seen. This is a terrible casting choice. They could have had Bryan Cranston, but they're like, no, because Jesse Eisenberg was offered Jimmy Olsen, but he said no, he wants to do Lex, and so for some reason they changed the script to the whims of all people, Jesse fucking Eisenberg, when they could have had Heisenberg instead, which would have been a much better option. But instead, they write Lex or Lex Jr. as some just crazy guy, some insane genius, mad scientist, which is not who Lex Luthor is. I wouldn't buy. I mean, even Lex Luthor himself would be like wanting to beat the shit out of his kid if he turned out this bad. We'll knock some sense into him. Going ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. More like dum 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 dum. This movie is dumb dum 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 dum. It's fucking stupid. And it's a coaster fuck 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 fuck. And I hated this performance. It was so irritating. I wanted to deck him. I wanted to strangle him till the veins in his fucking eyes popped out of his fucking head. And his eyes followed suit. This was the most annoying character I have seen on screen since Jar Jar Binks. And I'm not fucking exaggerating. I'm being honest. He just would not shut the fuck up. I wanted to take a metal plate, like in Beetlejuice, slam it on his fucking mouth. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear whatever you fuck you're talking about. He's just babbling incoherently about shit. I don't even know what his plan is. What the fuck is his plan? I don't like God. I don't like Superman because I don't like God. I want to kill God. Blah, 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 I don't fucking know what his plan is, and it's stupid anyway. I'm gonna kill Superman. I'm gonna kill God by creating Zod's Day, which is like an even stronger and even more dangerous and even more hard to control version of Superman that'll probably kill me and kill everyone else. So I'm gonna make two gods? I thought you hated God. Well, I guess not, because he creates another god to kill another god. I don't know what the fuck is going on, and even if I did, I don't give a shit. Because I'm too busy being bored out of my fucking mind watching this shit. His performance was just atrocious. I mean, it was cringe-inducing to watch. It's like he got worse as the film went on. And he was like a tweaker. He was like just jittery. Just hopped up on fucking meth. Or crack. Or butt crack. Or crack up the butt crack. Or crack off the butt crack. And off the ball sack. And into his nose. Stop drinking, stop freebasing Monster Energy drinks. Lex. Fucking jittery. Going, mm-hmm. 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 Just, what the fuck is this about? What, you get pegged? You like getting pegged in the ass? Is that it? Is that your mating call, Lex? Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. The scene with the fucking Jolly Ranch. If I were to tell you that in Batman vs. Superman, there were going to be scenes in the movie that had a jar of piss and Jolly Ranchers, no one would believe me. Not a single person would buy any of the bullshit that I'm selling. But it happens in this movie. Jar of piss and a Jolly Rancher. Might as well dip the Jolly Rancher in the jar of piss and force feed it to Jesse Eisenberg. Maybe then he'll shut the fuck up. So, yeah, the Jolly Rancher scene. Worry, it's cherry. Yeah, just like the cherry bombs that I want to shove right up your fucking asshole. They'll go pop, 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 and then blow your fucking head off. And then I finally get the silence that I have been asking for the entire time while I'm watching this movie. And then it'll be the most peaceful moment that I could possibly ever ask for. Because finally, he shut the fuck up. For good. That's not what happened, though. Fucking motor mouth. Kept talking, and more talking. I wanted to bitch slap him so we could stop talking. There were times where literally I was just so bored. I was just tuning out. I was tuning out of what he was talking about. And I was literally just staring up at the ceiling tiles in the theater, being like, oh, those are some nice ceiling tiles. You know, I think that light's out up there. We should get somebody to go fix that. And I'm paying more attention to the fucking ceiling tiles and like a light up there that might be out or might be ready to go out. It's like I'm about ready to go out of my fucking mind when I'm watching this movie. Just fuck. I know people have said J.C. Eisenberg reminds them of like a poor man's Edward Nygma. I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. You know why? Because it's disrespectful to Jim Carrey, because he's 10 times better of an actor than Jesse Eisenberg. Plays the same role in every movie. He's just some neurotic, whiny kid that I want to bitch smack. Across the face. Shut the fuck up. Stop being a bitch. Anyway. Oh, fuck. So Jesse Eisenberg's a problem. A huge con. Pro. Only on April Fools. Only on April Fool's Day is he a pro for me. One of the biggest cons out of the entire movie. Could not stand him or his performance. Gal Gadot, aka Waiting for Gadot. Waiting for Gadot to learn how to act. Because whenever she's not in an action sequence, she's just flat. I'm really worried about her solo movie. I don't think she can carry it. I don't think she can't act. I mean, there's a reason why she was just a bit part character in the Fast and Furious movies. No one has given her a lead role until now for a reason. If she was so talented of an actress, she would have already gotten a lead role by now. So we'll see. I mean, I would be ecstatic to see her prove me wrong, but I doubt it. So, Jesse Eisenberg sucks. Gal Gadot's underwhelming. The film is paced so fucking slow. There's not a lot of shit that happens. There's an action sequence with the Batmobile that is fucking pointless. And nothing. There's Batman shooting rockets that explode and don't hit anything. And he's supposed to try to get some kryptonite, but he fails. Because Superman stops him, but then a few scenes later, he just gets the kryptonite off screen. He steals it from Lex. Why can't we just have an action sequence where he gets in a fight, fucks up a bunch of guards and shit, and gets the kryptonite? Why the fuck do we have the Batmobile sequence, which is just a bunch of shooting in the dark? Just a bunch of Batman's gonna hook up a car and then smash it around a bit. And some explosions and that's all it is. That's it. Even the actually opening stuff with the stuff in Africa is lame. You got fucking terrorist Bono the terrorist. I guess it's supposed to be the is it the KGB guy or something? Like, there's a special name for this guy. He's from Batman. I'm not too familiar with this guy because that's the one kind of guy that That's the type of Batman villains that I'm not really that familiar with. I think it's that guy. Anyways, he's supposed to be like a Batman villain who eventually will die, or he dies in this technically, but he gets brought back. He's got cybernetic arms and stuff. I mean, the first fight scene I remember seeing is not even with Batman and Superman, or even Batman related. It's just Bruce Wayne is there watching some Fight Club thing. I'm like, wow. First time I see fight scene. First time you see Batman as an aftermath shot. There's a bunch of people, sex slaves, and then Batman's torturing some guy, and then some fucking cop shoots him like 5 times and misses. That's all you get. That's it. The really exciting, thrilling action sequence in the beginning, which is basically showing you sequences from Man of Steel from the point of view of Bruce Wayne driving around in his Batman vs. Superman edition of the Jeep. And there's just nothing to it. Absolutely forgettable sequence. First time you see Superman save anybody is a very depressing fucking montage. It makes sense for sad sack of shit, for somber man to be like, I don't like being a hero. It even has sad music playing in the background. I mean, this film is exhausting to sit through because of the overwhelming amount of negativity in it. I'm so negative towards it because that's one of the few emotions it gives me, is negativity. There's no light. There's not really a lot of light here. The only time I remember seeing Superman smile was when he said he's Clark Kent and he's talking to Lois and she's in the bathtub, and even then I find that scene a problem because she's all like, hey, you're gonna say something about what happened in Africa? I was like, no, no. I'm like, why not? Go explain yourself. Say, hey, I did not do that stuff. I did not shoot those people. No, nope. Instead, he'd rather just dry hump Lois in a fucking bathtub with his jeans on. Like, it's just one of his superpowers is he can come through his fucking jeans. Shit. First time Batman and Superman meet on screen, it's just Superman being a douche, saying, don't go to bat signal, bury it, the bat is dead, and that's it. And it's like nothing. And you saw that scene already in the trailer. And you saw a clip of that scene already online. Then you flash forward an hour and 40 minutes, then they finally fight, and it's a shitty fight because it's just a lot of one-sided Batman punching Superman. Might as well be One Punch Man. Right into Superman's face. And there's nothing to this fight. There's nothing at stake because I barely know. Like I said earlier, I barely know this Batman. I don't give a shit about this Superman, so I don't care who wins or loses. And then it ends with that ridiculous, you're killing you're letting Martha die. Martha? Where did you learn that name, Martha? This is about to kill Superman with a kryptonite spear, and then it's up to Lois Lane to be like, it's his mother's name. You think I'm full of shit too if I told you that this was in the movie? But no, it's in the movie. That's your Oscar-worthy screenplay for you. Armand's first name's Martha? Best friends forever! Yeah! Stupid. So stupid. Then you get the final battle, it's just a generic giant monster thing. It's just insulting when Lex said, this is your doomsday. No, it's not. It's not my doomsday. My doomsday doesn't look like a fucking cave troll from Lord of the Rings. They managed to make Doomsday even more generic than he already is. They gave him laser eyes. They gave him heat vision. Why? I guess because, heat vision, laser eyes makes everything awesome. It makes everything so much better. Just like it did for Deadpool and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, because that was so fucking awesome. It was the best thing ever. They made Deadpool so much better with the laser eyes and all these other powers he never had. Barakapool with laser eyes. This is the most badass thing ever. They made Deadpool so much cooler by sewing his mouth shut. No, they fucking didn't! They didn't do that with Deadpool, and they sure as fuck didn't do that with Doomsday. It's not Doomsday anyway, it's Zod's Day. And he has laser eyes because he's Zod, I guess. In case you didn't know he was General Zod, he has the same laser eyes that Zod had in Man of Steel. Did a shitty CGI fucking fight with fucking filtering up the ass that looks fake as fuck. And you have Superman die in a film where he doesn't fucking earn it. He gets shivved with a fucking spike. He dies the same way his dad did. Wow. Whoopty fucking do. Gets shivved in the fucking chest with a spike. A lame way for him to die. What a way to fuck up Death of Superman. And I'm supposed to feel sad. And then there's a fucking funeral scene that lasts forever. Plays Amazing Grace on bagpipes. Was it Star Trek 2? Wrath of Khan? And they have Lois Lane who gets like, she gets like a wedding ring. And I'm like, didn't earn that either. I barely even know these two. I only saw them dry hump in a bathtub once. Fuck's sake. And the Batman's in the form of Justice League. Oh, speaking of Justice League, the movie grinds to a fucking halt to show you shitty QuickTime files of the Justice League on like security cam footage. Jason Momoa is Roman Reigns of the fucking ocean, Roman Reigns of the sea, poking at a fucking undersea camera like he's a fucking dickhead. What the fuck? The Flash, he has a fucking goatee, he's got a man bun. It's played by the same guy who's the effeminate guy that Amy Schumer banged in Trainwreck, which just sums this movie up rather well. Trainwreck. And, you know, the one who's like, oh yeah, oh, dude, grab my nipples, oh! That guy is the Flash. Stuff with Cyborg. Okay. And then you have the shit where Batman has these dreams where, you know, Batman Fury Road, straight up. I didn't laugh, otherwise it would go crazy. Batman Fury Road scenes where he's got the fucking duster on, and it's like straight out of Mad Max Fury Road, and even the score sounds like Fury Road. And then you have like these winged, you know, what looks like flying monkeys from hell, you know, from Wizard of Oz, but what it is, it's parademons, because it's setting up injustice. And then the screenplay is so shitty, it has a dream sequence within a dream sequence, where the Flash shows up and warns Batman, "You were right about him! Ooh, am I too early? Yeah! It's like this whole fucking movie is too early! Should have pulled out! Should have pulled out! But instead, you gave birth to a bastard! Bastard son of a bitch. What other shit is there that I don't like about this movie? Most of the score is forgettable. I can understand why it was Hans Zimmer's last hurrah for superhero films, because it's completely forgettable for the most part. It's too bad. I like the score for Man of Steel, but hey, you know, wish he could have gone out on top. Instead, he goes out with a whimper instead of a bang. The Wonder Woman theme, especially, was really just ridiculous. It didn't fit in this type of movie. This movie is like shot so dark you barely fucking see shit, and everything's on these all dark themes and shit. And then you have something like that. Fuck. And why does she get most of the fights? Why does she get most of the action sequences of Doomsday? With Zod's Day? Superman barely does anything. He takes him into space, punches Doomsday a little bit. Zod's Day. He does that lame cliche shit where they shoot laser eyes at each other. Which has been done 1,000,000 times. Batman doesn't do much except jump away from the blasts. Wonder Woman does most of the fighting, if not almost all of it. So why couldn't she just throw the spear at Doomsday? I don't know why not. Because this film wants to shoehorn in Death of Superman. No matter what. Doesn't matter if it makes any sense. Well, fuck it. We want it in here. Stop, but you're shoving a square peg into a round hole. Too bad, we don't care. You're gonna break it. Well, it's gonna fit. We're gonna make it fit. Yeah, just like shoving something straight up your asshole. Just like, hey, you go to the fucking doctor, get the glove ready, here we go, Moon River time. It kind of sums up the experience of watching this movie, too. It's like getting a prostate exam. It's cold. It's unsettling. It's uncomfortable. Makes you feel afterwards. It's just all kinds of wrong. So even the action stuff's not much. Yeah, that one action sequence I liked with Batman versus, the thugs. He's saving Martha. Why would Batman give up so easily? Oh, your mom's first name is Martha? Oh, that's good. I've spent most of my life, I spent like 2 years trying to kill you. It's not going to stop him. It shouldn't stop him. But no, it does. Because the screenplay sucks. Yeah, the guy, Mr. No Legs, climbing up a fucking statue. How the fuck does that happen? I have no idea. And all this does is paint this guy who's disabled as one of the biggest assholes on the planet. Yeah, you lost your legs, but if you decide to side with Lex Luthor and like fuck people's lives up, and you're a bitter asshole, then I'm sorry, you probably were an asshole to begin with. Great way to paint people with disabilities, movie. And then you have people hate Superman. I get it. I don't blame them. I don't blame you for hating Superman. I don't like the Superman either. But there's no love and hate relationship. You don't. The only time you see someone who loves him is Lois, but that's not enough. You had a perfect opportunity in the montage sequence where Superman is saving people, where you could have shown that love-hate thing, but they don't do it. It's just a lot of hate, and more hate, and more hate. Hate breeds anger. Hate breeds fear. And there's something interesting here. The idea that some people are angry at Superman, but there'd also be some people who love him. But you don't see that dynamic in play here. You see bits and pieces of it, and most of the pieces you see are for the hate side of the argument. It makes me hate Superman. I don't like that feeling. I hate it. I hate the feeling. Makes me feel just wrong. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Visual effects weren't much. Good for the budget, I guess. Henry Cavill doesn't have much to work with the script, but he doesn't do much performance-wise. Just blank face. Saying lines that don't fit the character. He's talking to Lex Luthor, I'm going to take you in without breaking you, which is more than you deserve. I'd like to take this movie in and break it! Give it an F5! Brock Lesnar style. Just boom, right on top of a fucking table. And light it on fire. Suplex City, bitch! Fuck. What was it? I'm just trying to remember. Like, this film's just killing my brain cells one by one, just talking about it. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I don't know what else to say. I've gone over an hour. I said I wasn't going to. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I tried. I tried to not go on an hour. Fuck's sake, I tried, but there's just too much fucking things I wanted to talk about. Editing is awful. That's another problem. The editing is really, really bad. It just cuts randomly the sequences that you just may leave you scratching your head, being like, what the fuck? Is this a dream? Oh, it is? I couldn't tell. Because your editing sucks. The dreams within a dream. Dream within a dream. Dream of little dreams. Corey Feldman gonna come along? His fucking sunglasses? Oh. Yeah, I'm spent. I'm fucking spent. I don't know what else to say. I'm just I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing left. Fuck this movie. Fuck it. This is what happens to Superman when Zack Snyder gets a hold of him for Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. This is what happens. That's what happens. You fucked up, Zack Snyder. You fucked up. You fucking killed Superman. I hope you're fucking happy, you fucking hack.